Raising Waylon is a lovely film. I was worried this was going to be really heavy and really emotional, but actually, while there are certainly moments like that, there is a lot of comedy in this. It's a beautiful film. This was released in 2004. It's directed by Sam Pillsbury, it's written by Neena Beber, and we have a cast including Thomas Gibson, Poppy Montgomery, Doris Roberts, and Jeremy Bergman as Waylon. And this is about Reginald and Julia, who are the godfather and godmother of Waylon, a young boy whose parents have died in an accident, and they don't necessarily get along, Julia and Reginald, so raising Waylon's going to be quite interesting. But they have to work together and raise him and obviously help him through this emotionally as well. Maybe they'll start to get along as the narrative progresses, but I won't say any more than that. It does sound like it's a really depressing, emotional story, and as I said, there are moments where it is quite emotional, but for the most part I'd say they managed to keep things light enough that it was always entertaining but also very meaningful and very moving as well. And I imagine this is a position a lot of people unfortunately find themselves in, where I imagine there are a lot of not just physical challenges of bringing a child into the home, maybe having to move location, but also, of course, the emotional challenges. And this is what we see here. And to me, it seems like it's presented in a way that's very believable. And again, very entertaining, but definitely very moving at times as well. Waylon is a delight. As a character, I thought he was absolutely fabulous. Often the source of comedy with just things that he says every now and then. He's just wonderful. Doris Roberts plays I believe it was his great aunt, and she loves the child and loves looking after him, but she's determined that she is much older and is maybe not the best person to raise him growing up, and that's why the godparents are asked to step in. And of course, when you become a godparent, that is kind of expected. That being said, I imagine most people who agree to be a child's godparent don't ever think that they'll actually have to raise the child, because that is obviously the worst possible thing to happen. And it's clear that for Reginald and Julia, it was going to be quite an interesting experience. And for us as viewers, at least for me as a viewer, it is certainly an interesting film. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Moving but funny. Great characters, very well written story, great performances. Waylon is an absolute joy of a character, and I can't fault it. I really enjoyed it. I had a feeling I would, but I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be, as I said, quite a heavy experience. But in general, it's light enough that it's definitely considered a comedy. So Raising Waylon was a great film. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I only watched it because of Doris Roberts, but had I come across it randomly, I probably would have watched it anyway. It did appeal to me, and I'm pleased to say it did not disappoint. I really enjoyed Raising Waylon, and I'm certainly happy to recommend it.